Stop scrolling if you've watched Beef on Netflix. The rest of you, finish watching it and come back here. Hey everyone, welcome back to Popcorn Pixels Talk Time with me, Nidhi Sahani. I'm sure you picked up on the symbolism of the crows in the series. But did you notice any other recurring motifs symbolizing and foreshadowing the narrative and the characters' fates? Spoilers ahead. Let's start with the obvious one, the black crow. In some cultures, crows are often associated with ill fortune and are believed to bring bad luck. In the first episode, when Danny says, "Crows love me," while climbing a tree, foreshadowing his fate, what he means is that the blackbird does not bring him any bad luck. Or when Amy initiates a flirtatious conversation with Paul at the terrace of Jordan Forster's home, we see her get startled by a crow, symbolizing the looming disaster that's upon her. There are several subtle sequences throughout the series where we see crows either flying in the background or being mentioned in conversations, all of which have prophetic and ominous connotations. But I think that also means that they were also following Danny and Amy's feud just like us. Fast forward to the last episode when the two crows are spilling the tea with one another about these emotionally damaged humans, Danny and Amy. We see a turning point. Another symbolic representation of how the crow is associated with transformation. In some Korean myths and legends, crows are depicted as shapeshifters or magical creatures capable of transforming themselves into humans. But here, Amy and Danny transformed into each other. I mean, sure, the magical berries could have also been responsible for this, but I like the crow theory better. Another interesting motif, the Tamago Chair. We're introduced to the world of artsy chairs at an exhibition hosted by Fumi, who is the widow of a renowned architect and artist. Why are chairs a significant element in Beef? In various Eastern cultures, chairs are often associated with status, power, authority, and hierarchy. For example, the head of the family would traditionally sit at the most important or the highest chair at family gatherings or for meals. Emperors, officials, and high-ranking figures would sit on elaborately decorated chairs as a symbol of their status and prestige. So what does that tell us about Fumi and her perspective on her family's reputation? The woman who has not worked a day in her life is holding on to these pieces of furniture to show, not sell, her rank in society. And the same mindset is instilled in future generations, i.e. George, who values the Tamago higher than any business transactions because that chair is a status symbol. Also, it's a memory of his late father's work. Speaking of which, let's talk about George's art, the vases. Vases. Is it vase or vase? I'm not talking about the aesthetics of the sculpture, but the ornament or container itself. The husband, George, is a homemaker in Beef, holding the fort, keeping the family together, and containing all of theirs and his own emotions, symbolically, in a vase. 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 And I think that's why Amy subconsciously detests these goopy, lumpy sculptures, because in a way they kind of remind her of how George is more zen and has the ability to control his emotions, while she doesn't. Which is also perhaps why she feels like a fraud, because anyone who works with plants is a nurturer and tends to be kind, calm, empathetic, and rooted, all of which we know Amy is not. This leads me to another motif, the water leak. I might be overanalyzing this, but hear me out. There are two distinct sequences in the series that mention some plumbing issues and remodeling that require immediate attention. Danny walks into Amy's home twice, suggesting a potential water leak, and the respective reactions from George and Amy is where the symbolism lies. Amy is frustrated and overwhelmed to have to deal with another issue, while George's reaction is more restrained. Amy sees these water leaks as loss of control or as an inability to manage a situation. It's almost like an emotional leakage, indicating the need to release or express pent-up emotions. George, on the other hand, takes it upon himself to fix the leakage. Once again, he's able to contain the information and his emotions and deal with it. Last but not the least, the handyman. Since Amy's profession gave us an insight on her personality and insecurities, Danny's job as a handyman and his work ethic is an insight worth highlighting. He could have had any profession, but he's a handyman who symbolized practicality, resourcefulness, efficiency, and adaptability. While we see the enraged side of Danny, he's comparatively calmer and more collected in terms of his approach to solving problems. What Amy lacks in emotional stability and health, he lacks in material wealth. So not only are they each other's outlet for their respective shortcomings, but they even balance each other out. What a deliciously made and presented show.